Just at my local Witherspoons viewers, having a nice breakfast. That is definitely apple juice that I'm drinking, it really is. I've got no idea what this daily vlog will entail, but I'm going to have my breakfast and maybe we'll get out digging a bit later. See what happens, kids. Cheers. One clean plate later, kids. I'm going to go and put some more parking on my car and go and have a look at some local antique type shops, you know, some of the more interesting ones. So I parked up in the Aldi car park in Evesham, and a lovely Chinese lady gave me a ticket as she was leaving, which I often do for people. But then I was left in that conundrum. There was half hour left on it, but I didn't want to upset the lady, so I took it anyway, even though I knew I needed about an hour and a half. So I've got to nip back now, all because I didn't want to upset the nice Chinese lady. Well, I'm a bit miffed. There's a funky shop over the road that I wanted to go and look in, but it's closed. There's two here though that I'll go and have a look in. I've got no idea what's in them. I know the Twyford Antique Centre's usually pretty good. All I know is I will buy at least one item, even if I don't want it, just for the video. Can't actually see them very well from here. Gotta hold my phone up. I might have a badge. Sure, I'll find something in a minute. Definitely won't be buying that lighter though. There's a little pipe there. Well, if you're in Evesham, I thoroughly recommend the Antiques and Collectibles Centre, and I really enjoyed looking through his records, and I've bought this lighter. It's only, it's obviously non-precious metal, it's not of the best construction, but it might keep me going for a bit out in the field if I can suss out how to work it, which I'm sure I will, somehow. Maybe. Give you an update on that later.
Thank you.
It's wooden, that. Got some nice scales there, weighing scales. Tempted to get them. Might get them. £30 for the whole collection. I've got no room for that. So I'm very pleased with my lighter. That'll be from like the 40s or 50s maybe. But on inspection, it's not very solidly built at all. It is actually called Polo, made in England. very cheap model by the looks of it. Have to be very careful these big Irish navvy thumbs don't break it, but it's English and I like it, so even if I don't use it, it'll sit nicely on the side. In that second shop they've got lots and lots of old bottles, and after seeing Dean Hunter's collection the other day, I really wanted to buy one. I always want Evesham or local bottles, and I went in that shop last year, and although they had wonderful bottles, they didn't have Evesham or local ones, and it was the same again this year when I've just been in now. I was very tempted after seeing Dean's collection to buy a Warner's Safe Cure with the picture of the safe embossed on it that he just had in that shop. Little half-size one, and I was going to buy it. I'd made my mind up to buy it £12. Don't know whether that was a good price or not, but just on a better look, I seen it had a little bit of like a crack in the shoulder of it, so I left it. Was that a bit of a loss whether to buy anything in there after that, but then this little dinky one caught my eye. It's got a nice intact paper label. Britaris, a pure British table water, as supplied to the House of Lords. So that might be about 70 years old, that bottle with its paper label. It's not ancient, but yet again it's a British Britaris, supplies to the House of Lords. That cost me £16 and the lighter cost me £5. I've no idea what the market value is for this bottle, but when buying things like this, unless you've got a guide price and stuff, you just have to go with what takes your fancy, and as long as you're not breaking the bank, as long as you're happy with something like this sitting on your shelf for £16, that's what counts, kids. I really like that. I'll see if we can get down to the old mill a bit later for a spot of tecting or wandering in the countryside. Yeah, I'm well happy with them. Just have to find somewhere to put them now. I can hear Buster barking. Anybody would think they'd left Buster in the flat for like 2 days on his own. He's been gone about 2 hours maximum. Hello viewers, this is Stephen Gray of Anglo Celtic Metal Detecting on YouTube. I'm actually stepping into the shoes of local reporters in Evesham today. That's what I'll be doing in this video. I will be taking up the challenge of this public right-of-way dispute that is raging along the footpath that goes through Hampton Mill with a lady who doesn't own it. It's in probate. And I'm just sick of the shilly-shallying by the local powers that be. And as for the reporter from the local Evesham Journal, you blow my mind, sir. And I'm currently unemployed, and I am after your job. I'm after your job. I drink, I smoke, I own firearms, albeit water pistols that I found with my metal detector. I am like the modern day Hunter S. Thompson, and I want a job in journalism, and I want the good people of Evesham to decide whether I should have one, because there are illegal erections going up in the community, exciting locals to take these erections into their own hands. Watch the video and then let me know if I should have a job or not. This is St Andrew's Church, our lovely local church in Hampton, with its beautiful graveyard. As you can see, I keep my dog on a lead, and I always carry doggy bags, and I like to access my public rights of way. So let's just see how this walk extrapolates. Beautiful here. This is one of our local little green spaces right next to the cemetery there in Hampton. And down here on the bottom of this field is the River Isborne that runs up to the mill house, where the public right of way is in dispute at the minute. So this is the River Isborne just here. Apparently it's the only north flowing river in the country. You might correct me on the on whether it's actually north flowing, but whichever way it flows, it's the only one in the country that does that. Now, standing here, you can see the start of a footpath opposite that dark alleyway with the hedges. The mill and its property is at least about half a mile up that footpath. According to locals who live in these houses round here, this is their story, not mine. The lady goes up and down that footpath that's nothing to do with her, and she's belligerent to members of the public in a manner that leaves them feeling threatened, and a lot of them will not use this public footpath anymore. I shall go and see, just to see for myself what's what. So we've crossed the road, and this is the public footpath in question, and going to go up there and just see if we've got any right of way. I've only ever walked this path once before. It was about 2 years ago, and it's a lovely walk along the river that eventually does lead to a mill house that this lady does not own. It's actually in probate as we speak. So let's see, as a non-owner of the mill, what sort of things she's been doing to allegedly annoy the locals. Well, I'm not even anywhere near the mill house, and I've just been stopped by a local lady, lovely local lady, who lives in the houses behind, and she was telling me that there's been sheep all roaming free all over these fields and little lanes this morning. Apparently these sheep belong to the lady who's living at the mill house, and she's just warned me basically not to go anywhere near it. It's a public right of way, and I'm a concerned member of the public, so I feel that I must go and access my public right of way like the councillors are saying we should, because it's good for my mental health, it's good for my physical health, it's good for my doggy's mental health, and it's good for his physical health. He's 15 and a half years old, and he still loves his walks, as you can see. The mill house in question is somewhere up there in the far distance. I only ever walked it, this public right of way, 2 years ago. I found it very charming, and then my busy life got in the way and I've not been able to revisit it. But now, like lots of other people, I seem drawn to it simply just to document what may or may not be happening. We'll find out as the walk progresses, viewers. One thing that's telling is, I know the grass grows quickly this time of the year, but when I come up here at a similar time 2 years ago, this was a well-trodden path. But you can see just how local people look like they might have been put off coming down here, because it's not a well-trodden path now. I've just spoke to those two people in the distance behind me, and they're two local Hampton residents, and they've just spent the last couple of hours rounding up sheep and taking them back to the mill house, where apparently that's where they're from, or one of the neighbouring fields, back to this lady who apparently is always very law abiding and that, but still lets the sheep wander freely wherever. Everybody's against her apparently, but she'll let a sheep off the lead. So as you can see why local people want to walk this. It's absolutely beautiful, lovely path. And the guidance from Worcestershire County Council, as I document this video on June the 28th I think, 2021, the guidance from Worcestershire County Council is all the paths ahead of me are open and you can access your public right of way. So me and Buster are just going up ahead where it gets interesting, and we'll see. Well, it's changed since I've been up here 2 years ago. All that barbed wire's gone up, that's new, which is fair enough. And we will abide by the signs. As you can see, doggy on lead, keep to the footpaths, see what happens. Oh, and apparently from this area onwards we're being filmed by trail cams, which is fine. It's for our own protection as much as anyone else's. Well, we're in the disputed area now, and I've just spoke to 2 other members of the public, and they claim that the lady's letting their sheep out so that she can get the rights of way moved, so she can have a legal basis to get this path. Yeah, good. That's good, isn't it? At least the police might be watching if anything happens. But she's letting the sheep out according to locals, so that she can say the locals are letting the sheep out. And I've seen many members of the public rounding sheep up today, but I've just missed it all. Let's go and see what other barriers she's put in the way of public people. Because look, this is a beautiful spot. This is where people want to come. This is where people are allowed to come on the public right of way. Up ahead is one of the infamous gates, one of the infamous erections of this lady. Apparently she's had numerous illegal erections. Let's see what we make of this one. I've never seen gates like this in the countryside, and from everything that the police and councils have told me, this is totally illegal. Absolutely illegal, kids. And there's the camera, look. There's one of the cameras filming her illegal gate. That's absolutely shocking. Absolutely shocking, look. She's filming her own illegal erections. And there's nothing the council are doing about this, and it's been dragging on for a year. So this gate does open, but so what? I'm going to open it and close it. I'm absolutely disgusted with this lady's illegal erections that the council are seemingly uninterested in. This is shocking. And it's not only this one, there's been many that have gone up and then maybe been took down by who knows who. There's been barbed wire just strewn across little paths here that children use. Councillors, local MPs, we the people of Hampton pay your wages, and we command that all this goes immediately. Alright, councillors, politicians, pull your finger out. Get these erections flaccid immediately. She's just filmed me on her trail camera closing the gate, look, like every normal sane person does. But apparently all the sheep did get out onto public highways and into a cemetery today. Did you not see that on your camera? Are those cameras actually working? You should be using them to keep a track on your sheep getting into the local cemeteries. Shame on you. Look, that's how it's done. A dog on a lead, closing the gate. Keep your sheep in your own fields, not in the cemetery, whatever your name is, missus. I hope you see this video and learn a few things and learn just how fed up people are. No idea if this is the public right of way as well, but it's on the back of the property, and it looks like a public right of way to me, but it's locked. I might be wrong. No idea what that sign says there on the gate because I can't read it. Keep gate closed is that. She's having a giraffe, isn't she, viewers? Nobody can even open the gate. Right, I've just come back through this monstrous erection for the last time, and as you can see, clearly documented on my footage, as I walk away, that gate is closed. I don't know where the supposed sheep were that all the locals were up in arms about today, but if they're not about, they're not about. They could be anywhere, couldn't they? Don't quote me on this, I could go and get the pictures in the archive of a local Hampton Facebook group, but I seen pictures of one of these public rights of way, and it just had barbed wire like this, but it was strewn across the actual path, not lit up or anything. Kids could have come down it. It was on just a little bit like this somewhere around this property, and it was shocking to see. But apparently we're all the bad people, we all do the wrong things, and this lady's a saint. Right, we've just come back out. Look, that gate is closed behind me as well, as you can see there. So we've come out of the disputed property, but all along this track for the last 12 months or so, there's tales on Facebook of innocent local dog walkers or wherever they're from being harassed all the way down this path back down to the main road, abused, shouted at. Some speak of a vicious dog, some speak of a knife. I can only go and state that these are just general members of the public who commented online. Luckily, I was warned just before by the lady at the house, be careful. Luckily she was out today while I was up there, but so were the sheep apparently, all over the place. So I'd just like to reiterate, we are not on the property, we're not within a few hundred metres of it. This path runs back down to the main Pershore to Evesham Road, and she has allegedly harassed people up and down this path. But there's a lot of people all saying the same thing. So like that little fire you seen when we walked in there, there's no smoke without fire.
Just contact RSPCA, and I thought, yeah.
So update on the sheep, we don't know where they are. And I've just been told that the bottom feeders and all this grass around here is too long, so maybe that's why they were in the local cemetery today.
Maybe, yeah.
And it's not just me. It's not just me. This is a local hot potato, yeah. Isn't it, ladies? About these illegal erections that she's putting up.
Have you seen the gate? Have you got a video?
I've got a very good video of a monstrous concoction. Thank you, ladies, just for backing me up. That I'm not.
And don't try climbing over because you're gonna get you're gonna get damaged.
I'll have to put a claim in.
Yeah.
All right, ladies. Bye. See? This is where the path comes out, right into the heart of the local community. And it's these people who are suffering by having a public right of way taken away. They had to watch the lady's sheep grazing flowers in their local churchyard today. We really don't know where the sheep are now, because those two ladies that I just seen were looking for them, because people are actually worried about animals as much as anything else. So that's the end of the track there. comes back out into the community kind of here, and apparently only 2 or 3 hours ago the said disputed sheep were in the graveyard just there, a good 1.5 miles away from this lady's property that she doesn't own. It's in probate, remember, and they were eating people's flowers on graves, allegedly, according to the local community who actually live here. And it was this busy road that the sheep had to cross. So why did the sheep cross the road? For the shorter grass apparently, and it's quicker than driving if you know anything about Evesham traffic.